Robbie Crawford, Jake Rasmussen. So this weekend, we hung out on Friday night in the neighborhood. Not you and I, not we.
That's fair.
But in my neighborhood, we do front yard life, and we're hanging out, having a good time. And then I get this text Saturday morning from a guy that plays a ton of Ultimate Frisbee.
Huh, okay.
But during our little cornhole thing that we stayed up until like 1 a.m., it was crazy.
Love it.
It's the adults when you don't have kids. You know? We're
exactly.
Just like, we're going to stay really late.
Yeah.
But anyway, we talked about disc golf.
Come on.
And so then I think you got a couple followers on there. So little shout out. What's your disc golf Instagram?
It's Robbie C _disc_golf.
There you go. Check it out.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like it, you should follow it. But if you are a disc golfer,
creative stuff.
That is. But anyway, so the next day on Saturday, I get this text message saying, "Hey, I have enough frisbees for everyone to have a driver and a putter who wants to go play."
Dude, come on. Did you go play?
And I said, I'm in. I said, I'm all in.
Let's
go. And then
go.
tragedy struck, and I could not go. And I tell you the story on the other thing, but it's not worth it here.
We'll have to get around together because Andy Blanks keeps saying that he wants to
No,
play.
I don't want to play with you. Let's not get carried away.
You want to play outside of
You know those people that are like, hey, do you want to go, like, I don't bowl that often. You want to go bowl? And then they bowl like 280?
Bowling is the worst.
That's like you and disc golf.
Because bowling, people are, I'm a bad bowler. And they just crush it.
But anyway, so socially distanced outing would be disc golf. You've really picked it up since here. I mean, you've been into it for a while. Because
it's been a really cool thing that you can do. And it's hard, especially in times like these, right? We're all trying to find how can we do standard things amongst a COVID world. Yeah. And so that actually brings us straight into today, saying. If you guys are out there trying to have events, trying to have retreats and getaways and things like that, but you're probably asking yourself, I thought this COVID thing was going to go away. Like we all really did. We all really. I thought
it was gone in April.
Like we have wanted it to be gone so long, and we wanted to have a great summer of having camp with all of you out there. And I know you guys had events planned, and now we're in that second wave of more events are getting canceled because COVID's still here. And so we put together 5 ways that we believe you can COVID-proof your retreat.
So if you're doing a DNows, if you're doing a winter retreat, a back to school, a fall retreat, or even use this as planning into your January, your DNows, or your spring or winter retreats. Anyway, hopefully you can use these 5 things to not only have a successful, but then a thriving event as well. And our team is always here to help you. We serve thousands of youth workers around the globe. That sounded really good. It just rolled off.
Yeah.
But we do around the globe, but this is around the nation.
But mostly around the nation. We do work with people around the globe.
I know. I wanted to make sure I wasn't lying.
Hey, YN 360, the whole globe. I went to reference my patch, but I'm not the one.
No, it's here. It's here. Well, give us this first one. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. So seating and spacing. I know I've worked with and talked to a couple churches that have started meeting again, but they're doing it in their worship center.
That's right.
And so rather than their small student space, if you even have a student space, I know some of us are like, what? People have student spaces?
When you said small, and my mom that's watching this, and she's going to be like, student space? What's a student space? We don't have that.
Yeah,
no. But if you're lucky enough to.
If you're lucky enough to have a student space, it may be a little tight at times. And so I know many youth groups, when they're going to meet, they're trying to meet in the largest sanctuaries they possibly can. Yeah. Why? Because you can spread people out. If your church is meeting once again, in person, but if you're meeting, then you have a really great opportunity to spread out. So while you do your event or retreat, think about the seating, and if you can guarantee that, hey, we're all going to be in the room together, but we're all 6 feet apart and have great space, then it's really going to solve a lot of your issues in terms of your public gatherings, your large group gatherings, because I know it seems a little tough to have a large group gathering when you have to have that much space. Yeah. So big rooms.
Yeah, and something to go along with this is, it's not even on the list, but masks or anything like that. I mean, you're going to work in your local community, so these are beyond that, which is great spacing.
Absolutely.
Another one in this is obviously student ministry and events. We do a lot of games and interaction. We call students up and they eat crazy. No, that's Game Tip Tuesday.
No, that's Game Tip Tuesday. Or the games are made simple and fun's had by all.
There you go. But the whole concept of bringing students up and doing things interactive and passing the baton, that's just over. So this number 2 point is think about objectless or contactless recreation.
Yeah.
So unpack this a little bit for us.
Yeah, so think about like relays or something like that. And once again, not like a pass the baton relay, but hey,
One side of the room and the
Susie's
other.
going to go, she's going to run down, she's going to do this thing, and then she's going to run back. And then when she crosses this line, the next person goes. And so you can have that. Or you have sort of individual competitions. Everybody's spread out in their own station, getting after it, working. I know we did a paper airplane contest here at our office, and it was controversial at best, but
It's only controversial at best because who got DQ'd?
I got DQ'd.
You followed the rules.
He was on my team.
I was with you on this.
But the tyrants we have leading our, no, I'm just kidding. So paper airplane contest. Think about that. Everyone gets a sheet of paper. You're in your own space. You toss into the air, no contact being made. And so you can really get creative with recreation and lean into it. And if you think about the individual spaces, it brings us actually to our third point, which is that you're going to need more volunteers than normal. When you think about running a retreat or an event, you think about all the people you need to pull things off.
Yeah.
But because you're in a COVID-proofing situation, there's more cleaning that has to be done. There's more preparation that has to be done. So your volunteer force is going to have to be larger because there's really just more to do. And you might think to yourself, I can pull this off without volunteers.
Don't try.
Yeah, like just get rid of that thought. That is Satan trying to get you right there.
Right. That's good. That was good.
Hey.
Man, paint a picture.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, I thought this was so good when you wrote this. That more volunteers than normal, and I love how you said it's counterintuitive. Like maybe we need less people in the room, but really more hands not only makes the work light, but the cleaning aspect you can really step that up.
Absolutely.
Which then leads into this next one, which is nail down the small details. Now, you know, in an event, anytime you run an event, and Robbie, you just finished serving recently at the church, the details are king, you know?
Absolutely.
Like if you can conquer all the details and you're getting these to your adult volunteers, your staff, parents, students, it's going to be an amazing success.
Yeah.
But there's going to be even more details because you have to think through all the logistics on that. Is that right?
Absolutely. I mean, what I would do if I was planning a retreat right now, I would think to myself, all right, what are my hands going to do from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed? And other than like middle school boys, yeah, they're like armpits, licking, touching everything.
Oh,
which
gosh.
like if you can desanitize or you can sanitize
we don't
from
want
a desanitize. Well,
That's what
wrong
they do.
direction. Yeah. If you can sanitize after a middle school boy, you've been prepping for COVID your entire life. So
That's true.
you want to go through and think like, what doorknobs are they touching? What light fixtures? What are they going to be handling? And let's try to make that as clean and sanitary as possible.
Yeah.
And it's going to help you with a lot of those details. And as you think through those details, the cool part is you're going to know your retreat front to back.
That's right.
More so than you might have known your retreats from the past because you've already nailed down those very small details.
Yeah. Thinking on these details, before you dive into this last one, the details are not only really important just for the success of any event, but even now, I mean, just think of the street cred that you have to have from your senior staff, from your parents, and even your students. I mean, if you said, hey, students, we're going, XYZ, you're going to get a boatload of students, right?
Absolutely.
They're going to show up and they're excited, but parents are going to say, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
And then the church is going to say, wait a minute, we don't want to be on the news. And so if you can work these details out and then work in a team to make that happen, you're going to gain that credibility along the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so our last one, it may not feel like a concrete detail for you to hold on to, but I actually think it's the most important one on the list.
I agree.
And that is that you want to speak to the heart of why you're having an event. Let's be real. The external reason that you're having an event is because you want your people to gather.
Yes.
You want everyone in the room because we're tired of Zoom, we're tired of technology, and some students are having to do virtual school.
Yeah.
And so a virtual retreat feels really bad. So that's your external issue. But what you're really wanting to speak to is the heart, the internal issue, and that is that we need community.
That's right.
We need to be together with people. We need to have that moment where we can 6 foot apart, lock hand in hand, and have a moment of connectivity. And that's what you're trying to go to. If you host an event just to meet the external need, like Jake said, tons of people are going to want to go because we're all looking for a reason to get out of the house.
That's right.
But if you can speak to the heart of this, that is, we are coming together as a body of believers seeking normal and our normal is that when we gather, we get to worship Jesus.
That's right.
Man, you're going to see lives changed. And
Yeah, that internal component is just so strong, is that the external is obviously we want to hang out. And I love how you said that. This internal is we know that the Word of God, it not only lasts forever, but it's sharper than a double-edged sword, right? It's the only thing that can cut and pierce to the heart. And your students need to know in the uncertainty that's going on, the uncertainty that is going on, the certainty of God's word. And so don't gloss over this. There's a philosophical reason that you want to gather as well, and it's so that God's word can be proclaimed, that you can rally together. Absolutely. This is not, I think by now you know this, by listening on podcast or reading or watching. We don't do product plugs, right?
Yeah.
All the time. We do them every now and again. And I just want to say, again, we serve lots and lots of youth leaders with curriculum in this area. We call them event resources, and you can check them out at ym360.com, or you can go to disciplenowweekends.com. There's 14 studies to choose from, and they really work on this internal and philosophical need for retreats. So it's a shameless plug, yes, but we really believe in the power of God's word and the transforming nature of those relationships rallied around Jesus.
Yeah. So we appreciate what you guys are doing. And for those of you who are brave enough to have these retreats, we want to commend you for that and say that there are ways to do this to fully COVID-proof your retreat, earn that credibility with your families, with your senior pastor, and with your community to say, we want to gather and do these awesome things, and we're going to do it wisely and safely.
That's right.
So we thank you guys for coming in. Jake, thanks for chatting.
Man, Robbie, it was
one.
cool.
And
I think we should do a secret handshake, but we can't because of COVID, and it wouldn't be secret anymore.
Distance handshake.
Hey, thanks so much for what you do. You're in the trenches every day, and we love serving alongside of you. If there's anything that our team can do for you or with you, by all means, just call, send an email, and make sure to follow Robbie on some disc golf on Instagram. All right? Thanks so much for all you do, and we'll talk to you soon.
See y'all.